Hello summoners, welcome back to brand new video of KBS. Today, I will make you sure that you click the right video for Yasuo guide in Wild Rift. Yasuo the Unforgiven. Yasuo is an assassin in the Wild Rift, and he is a fighter role in this game. The ponytail on his head and the blue color shoulder cloth is giving him an attractive appearance similar to ancient heroes. Yasuo is known to be a duelist champion who has powers on high damaging and an ultimate airborne. Yasuo's playing lane is mid lane or Baron. Before knowing his builds, we should look at his abilities and ability order. Abilities. Passive ability, which is Way of the Wanderer. His first skill, which is Stealing Tempest. His second skill, which is Wind Wall. Third skill, which is Sweeping the Blade. His ultimate skill, which is Last Breath. Now you his abilities in order. Let's check his skills briefly. Passive. Way of the Wanderer. Resolve. Moving builds flow, which is tracked on Yasuo's resource bar. At max flow, damage from a champion or monster grants a shield that absorbs 100 damage and lasts 2 seconds. Indent. Yasuo's critical strike chance is doubled, but his critical strikes deal 10% less damage. Keep moving during the laning phase so that your flow reaches max when you want to trade. This mechanic allows you to negate random poke. It resets whenever you use Last Breath ultimate. His first ability, Steal Tempest. Thrusts forward, dealing 78 physical damage, 20 plus 100 attack damage. Grants a stack of Gathering Storm if the thrust damages an enemy. At 2 stacks, Steal Tempest launches a whirlwind that knocks enemies airborne. If tapped during Sweeping Blade's dash, Steal Tempest will strikes as a circle. This is a basic skillshot attack, and it's usually maxed first for damage. The cooldown of the ability reduces with attack speed, so we build attack speed in runes and items. This is a nice mid-range poke and safer to use than Sweeping Blade. This is cooldown and base damage. His second ability, which is Wind Wall, creates a 300-unit wall that blocks all enemy projectiles for 4 seconds. An overpowered wall that blocks a lot of long-range damage. This includes Jhin ult, Jinx ult, Ashe ult, Braum Q, Blitzcrank hook, you name it. Abilities that count as teleports can pass through it. It only blocks projectiles. Area of effect abilities, however, pass through it like Janna ult, Aurelian Soul passive and ult, Lux ult and so on. Windwall also gives vision just like in the PC version. Place it strategically to gain vision of the enemy team. His third ability, which is Sweeping Blade, dashes through the target enemy, dealing 70 magic damage, 70 plus 20% bonus attack damage plus 60% magic damage. Each cast increases the next dash's base damage by 25%, up to plus 50%. Cannot be recast on the same enemy for 8 seconds. If Steal Tempest is tapped during this dash, it will strike as a circle. This dash has a fixed range, as you will see on the ability indicator. That means, if you are closer to a target, dashing will make you move further away from it. You can use Steal Tempest along with it for some nice AoE burst. His ultimate or fourth skill, which is Last Breath, blinks to an airborne enemy champion, dealing 200 physical damage, 200 plus 150% bonus attack damage, and holding all airborne enemies in the area in the air for an additional 1.5 seconds. Grants maximum flow but reset all stacks of Gathering Storm. For the next 15's critical strikes, gain 30% armor penetration. Your ultimate refreshes your passive shield and gives Yasuo 50% bonus armor penetration on all his critical strikes. This is essential as when you will be between many enemies. The shield will help you survive. This makes Yasuo synergize very well with some champions, leading to great team fights. Armor penetration helps you shreds tanks as well, so you can potentially win after you get a few items. Use the ultimate as late as you can. For example, if Malphite ult lasts 2 seconds, use her ult just as the 2 seconds are about to expire. This will essentially mean the enemies are KED for 3 entire seconds. Form an effective CC chain with the right. You can check his ability order. You can just simply screenshot this order or remember the order. This is very simple. Now, let's look at his build in runes. Runes. We start with Conqueror. As a fighter, Yasuo needs a lot of damage to finish off his enemies easily. Therefore, you can pick Conqueror as his rune. Its passive grants Yasuo 2 to 6 bonus damage based on level, stacking up to 5 times for a maximum of 1030 attack damage based on level. Then Brutal. For domination, you can pick Brutal to complement other runes. This rune grants Yasuo a bonus of 7 attack damage and 2% armor penetration. With Brutal, you will be able to withstand a duel against tanks with high armor, like Garen. Then Spirit Walker. As an agile fighter, you're going to need crowd control deterrence for Yasuo. Therefore, you can pick Spirit Walker for its 50 maximum HP and 20% slow resistance. Then Hunter Genius. With Hunter Genius as your inspiration, Yasuo will receive an additional 2.5% cooldown reduction. Unique champion takedowns grant 1.5% cooldown reduction. This rune complements perfectly with Yasuo's skillset and is definitely worth picking. For T-Summoner's spell you can pick Ignite. Ignite greatly benefits Yasuo for duels. You can use Ignite when the enemy HP is critically low, as it will burn your target with 60 to 410 true damage, based on level, for 5s, finishing off your target when they get away from the team fight. And Flash. Flash is a spell for the people. Almost every champion uses this spell to chase down enemies or escaping from them. However, this cooldown for spell is quite long, 150s. Item builds. Phantom Dancer. As a samurai who relies on attack speed and critical strike, Phantom Dancer is the perfect choice for Yasuo's first item. On top of that, Phantom Dancer has a passive that grants the user shield when his HP reaches below 35%. As for his level-based shield, 240-590 with a 90s cooldown when activated. Infinity Edge. However, Yasuo still needs attack damage, even though his main priorities are attack speed and critical strike. Thus, Infinity Edge is the perfect item for his core item. This item increases his critical strike damage with additional plus 60 attack damage and plus 25% critical strike chance. But this item is quite expensive, so it will take more time to purchase it. Gluttonous Greaves. As for his boots item, you can pick Gluttonous Greaves for him. With an additional 8% physical vamp, it gives him sustainability in team fights or 1v1 duels. However, if you're coming up against lots of champions with hard CC, you can pick Mercury's Treads instead to reduce the stuns, slows, taunts, fear, silence, blind, and immobilize you get. Static Shiv. When it comes to attack speed and critical strike, you can pick Static Shiv. This item also comes in handy to clear the minion wave due to the magic damage it offers. In addition to that, it also increases his movement speed by 5%. It's very useful for Yasuo to move faster, either for chasing down an enemy or getting away from enemies. Bloodthirster. When the game proceeds to the late game phase, you may want to have good lifesteal to get an edge over your matchup. Now, for the recommended item, you can pick Bloodthirster for 3400 gold. This item gives 15% physical vamp with additional shield if your lifesteal overheals you. Guardian Angel. To make it even more difficult for enemies to kill you, you can pick Guardian Angel as a precaution. This item grants you 40 armor and 45 attack damage with Resurrect passive. Upon taking lethal damage, you will get resurrected with 50% HP and 30% base mana. However, this item has a long cooldown of 3 minutes. So it is suitable for the late game phase. Upgrade Gluttonous Greaves. Quicksilver Enchant. For his boots upgrade, you can pick Quicksilver Enchant. This item boasts an active effect that removes all crowd control effects instantly. Perfect for Yasuo, who is already really agile, and make him even more unstoppable. So here are some extra builds. So, these were all the runes and builds. Now, we will get into the main topic now. So, Yasuo Pros. Pros. Huge solo carry potential. Scales hard into late game. Late game scaling ensure that snowballs are hard. Rewarding to master. Great at team fights and ganks. Decent split pusher. Abilities can be spammed, as they have relatively low cooldowns. Yasuo Cons. He is squishy, can be bursted down easily. His passive is sometimes not enough for sustain. Learning Yasuo can be a daunting task for beginner players. Even veterans from other mobile MOBAs will take time to master him. He has a relatively high skill cap. Gets countered by crowd control, albeit this one is not a problem with the champion, but the reception he gets. Yasuo players can get flamed a lot. It is easy to feed with Yasuo when you are still new at him. Just keep in mind, this should not be a deterrent for you to learn Yasuo. Do your best and keep improving. Being a fighter and assassin, Yasuo is usually played in the Baron and mid lane without any support. This champion is usually solo handling his own lane. The Wild Rifts map is a mirror, so understand the map side before laning. According to his gameplay, we can break it down into 3 phases. Our League of Legends. Wild Rift Yasuo guide includes the perfect game plan for the early, mid, and late game in the game. Early game. As a solo laner, never engage if there are 2 enemies. Start with clearing the minion wave and kill the nearby small creeps to increase the gold count. Once you have got an AD item, move on to kill the solo enemy. Don't forget to hit the turret plating to get more gold. Mid-game. As of now, always keep an eye on the map. A hero like Yasuo must keep roaming to kill the enemy carry. Killing the carry will not only grant you huge gold, but also will help in pushing the turrets. As the enemy team is lacking the damage, you can freely gank. Late game. With the necessary items in hand, the execution of a perfect combo can finish off a mid-HP champion. Yasuo's ability set allows him uninterrupted harassment of enemy champion. Use the skills to zone out the enemy and wait for your team to arrive. A good Yasuo will use the backline to carry out the killings. Team fights. You need to use ultimate in order to proc your 35% armor penetration, which dishes a lot of damage. Also, if they have CC, never E-dash into them directly. Best case scenario, you'll have to burn your Quicksilver enchant. You are an assassin and waiting for the right time should be your strength. Wait for them to burn major CC. Positioning your wind wall effectively and the right time changes the entire scenario of the team fight. You can also avoid long-range stuns coming in from their carries using wind walls, making you all the more effective. So holding onto your wind wall is advised, especially when you E-dash and reach their ADC. If you wind wall, you will negate a lot of damage coming Yasuo. Akali, Xin Zhao, Fiora are the champions that counter Yasuo. Champs that Yasuo can counter. Dr. Mundo Olive Ziggs are the champs that Yasuo can counter. Synergies with Yasuo. Yasuo works really well with champions that have knock-up. Malphite, Blitzcrank, Gargas, Ulciter, Braum, Orianna, Sheen. One of the highest synergies he has is with Lee Sin. Combo that you can use. Yasuo relies heavily on his first skill to initiate his stunning combo. Since he's a mechanical champion, you don't necessarily need to stick to the following guide and instructions. However, for his basic combo, you can use the following. Use Stealth Tempest, first skill then Stealth Tempest, first skill then Sweeping Blade, third skill then Stealth Tempest, first skill at last breath, ultimate. In conclusion, Yasuo can be daunting to master, but once you learn him, it pays off. Make sure to practice his combos regularly because it is essential to keep your skills honed. Even a single mistake can cost you an entire match because you are a squishy assassin after all. His all-in combo makes Yasuo a high-risk, high-reward champion. Thanks for watching the video. And subscribe to the channel for the guides. So, even if you like the guide, then do subscribe. Have a nice day.